Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Friday, April 9th, 2010. This morning I wanted to go through a simple thing in the libraries in Smalltalk, and that is putting up a dialog box to request something like a file name. Turns out the API to that is pretty simple. You go to class dialog, and the basic API just to get a file back from the system, this will give you a string with the path, not the actual file name object, is this. Dialog request file name and then put a prompter in there. So if I'm on a Mac, I will get the native one here. I'll do a print it so I can see what the result is. And this is the native dialog that comes up on the Mac. If you were on Windows, you would see the standard Windows file dialog there. And I can start typing here, because that's the way these things work on the Mac. And then once I go ahead and hit open, it'll give me back the full path name to that thing. Now, if for some reason you did not want the native dialog, you wanted the emulated one that we provide within the system that goes across all platforms. I don't know, maybe you're providing a cross-platform product and you want to have the same experience across Windows and Linux and Mac. So you can turn native dialogs off by doing this, sending use native dialogs false here. And now if I send the same prompter, it'll actually have the exact same results. It'll just look different. So here we get something that looks sort of kind of like the Windows dialog, and it behaves sort of kind of like the Windows dialog. And if I just hit OK on this, it'll give you back this path name to this not actually real file. But that's something you can do if you want to have that. And then to turn that back on, of course, you just put true back here. So I can then go ahead and do it here. And now I'll be back to native dialogs. Now, if you want to see what the possibilities are, go into the system browser, find class dialog, and then just go to the class side, and you'll see here the file name dialogs. You have the simple request file name, all the way up to a bazillion different prompts you can put in if you want to have filters of various kinds. And you can test these out and see how they work. So you'll get these kinds of things, and you can see that they're going to check whether they should use the old prompters or the new. So it's going to come up with various and sundry ways of checking for things. So you should check these out and try these out and see how they work for you. So for instance here, if I want to go in and try this one, I would just highlight this and do an inspect on the result. And you see here it pops up this kind of standard dialog on the Mac. And if I hit cancel, it's going to give me an empty string back because that's what I get back. You might think it should give you nil, but it doesn't because everything else gives you back a string. So it's going to give you an empty string. Instead of doing a nil check, you just check to see if the string is empty. So that's about it for today. You should go ahead and check this out, look in dialog, and of course you have the simple password dialog if you want to just put up those kinds of prompters as well. And of course you can always use the UI painter to build a new dialog yourself and just make sure that you save it as a dialog, meaning a subclass of simple dialog, instead of a subclass of application model. So, till next time, have fun with Smalltalk.